Breaking news from the medical world. An invisible epidemic is spreading among women over 60. It's not a virus, not a failing diet, and certainly not a lack of discipline. Doctors call it metabolic drift. A quiet biological slowdown that rewires how a woman's body burns energy, stores fat, and sustains vitality. It's as if the body, once a well-tuned symphony, begins to play in a lower key. Hormones shift, muscles shrink, digestion slows, and yet the world keeps telling women, just eat less, move more. But the truth is far more complex and far more human. Metabolic drift is not your fault. It's biology, sculpted by time. As estrogen declines, muscle cells lose their ability to efficiently pull in nutrients. Mitochondria, the microscopic engines inside every cell, grow sluggish, producing less energy. The same breakfast that once fueled your morning walk now lingers, unburned as silent fat storage. Researchers at Tufts University recently confirmed this unsettling truth. Women over 60 burn roughly 400 fewer calories a day than they did in their 30s, even with the same routine. 400 calories might sound small, but that's nearly a pound of fat every 9 days. Over a year, it's the difference between stability and the creeping frustration of watching the body change against your will. But this isn't just a scientific story, it's an emotional one. For generations, women have been told that their weight reflects their willpower, that slowing down is surrender. Yet inside every aging body is a biological ballet of adaptation, not failure. The body is not betraying you. It's responding to decades of messages, habits, and myths that have quietly rewritten its code. Doctors now warn that 6 silent mistakes, small, everyday actions, can flip the body's metabolic switch from burn to store. Ironically, many of these are habits women believe are healthy. A light breakfast, a fat-free snack, a harmless juice. But beneath the surface, each of these choices can dim the body's inner fire just a little more. This documentary will peel back the curtain on those 6 traps, ranked from the minor missteps to the most destructive. And along the way, we'll explore not just the what, but the why. How culture, chemistry, and consciousness intertwine to shape the aging body. Because health is not merely about calories and diets. It's about understanding how time itself reshapes biology, and learning to dance with it instead of against it. The journey begins with the first morning of every day, the moment your metabolism wakes up. Or doesn't. The most innocent mistake might already be on your plate. Mistake number 6. Ignoring protein at breakfast. Morning light filters through the kitchen window. The ritual is familiar. A cup of coffee, a slice of toast, maybe a muffin that feels harmless, even virtuous. For decades, women have been told to start light, to avoid heavy breakfasts. But what feels safe is silently dismantling the metabolism from the moment the day begins. Doctors say this is one of the most common traps for women over 60. Skipping protein at breakfast. And it's not about vanity. It's about survival. Protein isn't just fuel, it's architecture. It repairs, rebuilds, and sustains the muscles that act as your body's metabolic engines. Each muscle fiber burns calories, stabilizes blood sugar, and guards against frailty. When protein intake drops, those fibers begin to fade, shrinking the very machinery that keeps fat at bay. A 2015 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed a powerful truth. Women over 60 who consumed at least 25 grams of protein at breakfast maintained significantly more lean muscle mass and burned an extra 100 calories per day. That's more than 10 pounds of fat gone over a year, without a single change in exercise. Diane, 67, thought she was doing everything right. Coffee and toast each morning, a small lunch, a walk in the afternoon. Yet her energy crashed mid-morning, and her belly fat crept upward. The day she replaced her light breakfast with Greek yogurt, berries, and a boiled egg, everything changed. Within weeks, she felt sharper. Within months, her waistline softened, her confidence returned. The science is simple. When you wake up and eat only carbohydrates, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. Your body, starved of amino acids, begins to break down its own muscle tissue for fuel. Imagine removing the spark plugs from an engine. It still runs, but sputters and weakens with every turn. The less muscle you have, the slower your metabolism becomes. Psychologically, skipping protein feels like control. If I eat less now, the mind whispers, I'll stay lighter later. But the body doesn't play by those rules. It plays by ancient rhythms, by biology written long before diet culture was born. Your body doesn't crave thinness, it craves equilibrium. Protein anchors that balance, signaling safety to the nervous system and reducing the stress hormones that drive hunger and fat storage later in the day. So when women choose coffee over nourishment, they're not saving calories, they're mortgaging their metabolic strength. The absence of morning protein sets off a cascade of fatigue, cravings, and muscle loss that can take years to undo. Breakfast isn't just the first meal. It's a message to your body, a signal of how the day will unfold. Feed your muscles, and they will carry you. Neglect them, and they will fade quietly, taking your metabolism with them. But this is only the beginning. Because even if you eat right in the morning, there's another trap waiting in your pantry. One that masquerades as health but feeds the very thing you're trying to avoid. Mistake number 5. Relying on low-fat packaged foods. For half a century, women were told a lie, one printed on every yogurt cup, every salad dressing, every healthy granola bar on the supermarket shelf. It began innocently enough. In the 1970s, as heart disease rose in America, scientists and policymakers raced to find a culprit. Fat became the enemy. The word alone, fat, was enough to trigger fear, guilt, even shame. Food companies saw an opportunity and flooded the market with low-fat and fat-free products, promising health and longevity. But behind the bright labels and hopeful slogans, something dark was happening. When fat was removed, something else had to take its place. That something was sugar. Modern nutrition science has since exposed this illusion. A landmark study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that people who regularly ate low-fat processed foods consumed 30% more sugar daily than those who didn't. The results were devastating, especially for senior women whose hormone shifts make blood sugar harder to control. Every spoonful of low-fat yogurt, every fat-free cookie, every light snack became a silent deposit into the body's fat bank. Helen, 68, believed she was doing everything right. Each morning, she ate fat-free strawberry yogurt, proud of her discipline. She walked every day. She rarely indulged. And yet her belly fat crept up, her energy waned, and her doctor warned her she was approaching pre-diabetes. The moment she switched to plain Greek yogurt, real, whole, rich with natural fats, her hunger stabilized, her energy lifted, and 12 pounds melted away in 3 months. To understand why, we must go deeper than marketing, into the biology of metabolism. Fat isn't the villain, it's a messenger. Healthy fats, especially monounsaturated and omega-3 types, act like metabolic switches. They regulate hormones that control hunger and satiety, and they keep cell membranes flexible so insulin can do its job. Remove those fats, and the system begins to glitch. The body misreads signals, insulin levels spike, and fat storage accelerates. The tragedy is not just metabolic, it's cultural. Entire generations of women were taught to fear butter, to count calories instead of nutrients, to equate self-worth with restraint. The low-fat era wasn't just a dietary mistake. It was a psychological conditioning that taught women to distrust their own bodies. And now, decades later, those beliefs still echo in every cautious bite, every glance at a nutrition label. But the science is rewriting the story. Fat doesn't make you fat. Confusion does. For women over 60, the stakes are higher than ever. With estrogen levels dropping and insulin sensitivity waning, every artificial sweetener and low-fat snack becomes a metabolic minefield. The fix is simple, yet radical. Bring back real food. Whole fats, real flavors, and balanced portions signal safety to your body. Because food is not the enemy, it's information. And when your body is fed truth, not fear, it remembers how to heal. But there's another mistake lurking in plain sight. One even more deceptive. It's not about what you take out of your diet, but what you've quietly stopped giving it. Mistake number 4, not getting enough protein after 60. It starts subtly. The feeling that your body is a little heavier, your steps a little slower, your muscles just a bit softer than you remember. You tell yourself it's age, that slowing down is natural. But inside your cells, something deeper is happening. The quiet erosion of strength has begun. Doctors call it sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and function with age. It's one of the most overlooked causes of weight gain, fatigue, and frailty in women over 60. The paradox? It doesn't come from eating too much, but from eating too little of the right thing. Protein. For decades, women were told to fear calories, to eat light, to nibble instead of nourish. Joyce, 67, followed this advice for years. Toast and jam for breakfast, a small salad for lunch, and maybe some crackers in the afternoon. By evening, she was exhausted, achy, and discouraged. When her doctor measured her diet, the truth stunned her. Only 40 grams of protein a day, less than half of what her body needed to stay strong. Once Joyce began adding eggs with spinach in the morning, chicken or lentils at lunch, and fish or cottage cheese at dinner, her transformation was almost poetic. Within 6 months, her legs felt stable again. Her posture straightened. Her waistline shrank, not from dieting, but from her metabolism reigniting. She said it felt as if her body had stopped fighting her and started fighting for her. Protein is more than a nutrient. It's the raw material of vitality. It fuels the production of hormones like glucagon and growth factors that keep your metabolism steady. Without enough of it, the body enters a kind of quiet emergency, breaking down its own muscle tissue to survive. Imagine a home that burns its own furniture for warmth. You stay alive, but weaker, emptier, colder. And here's the cruel twist. The symptoms of protein deficiency, fatigue, brain fog, muscle weakness, often masquerade as normal aging. So women don't question it. They assume it's just part of getting older. But it's not. It's malnutrition disguised as time. Modern research shows that the body's ability to use protein declines with age. After 60, the same meal that once maintained muscle barely makes a dent. The solution isn't just eating some protein, it's eating enough and spreading it throughout the day. Each meal should be a small act of self-preservation, a promise to the body that it still deserves strength. In evolutionary terms, muscle is survival. It's what kept our ancestors hunting, building, and living. In modern life, it's what keeps you balanced on the stairs, resilient against illness, and independent in your own home. Losing muscle isn't just about looks, it's about losing freedom. So if you remember one thing from this chapter, let it be this. Protein is power. It's not a diet trend. It's a lifeline. And it's never too late to rebuild the house your body lives in. But even as some women rediscover strength through food, there's another subtle saboteur waiting in the cupboard, a so-called healthy habit that disguises itself as virtue, but quietly overloads your system with hidden calories. Mistake number 3. Overeating. Healthy snacks like nuts. Evening falls. The house is quiet. You've eaten well all day, made mindful choices, and now as you relax with a good book or your favorite show, you reach for something comforting. A handful of almonds, maybe some cashews or walnuts. They're healthy, full of good fats, and heart protective. You tell yourself it's just a snack, but in that moment of comfort lies one of the most deceptive traps in nutrition. Even the healthiest food can become harmful when quantity slips out of sight. Nuts are nature's powerhouses, dense with nutrients, protein, and omega fats that reduce inflammation and protect the brain. But that same density means danger for the unmeasured hand. Just one handful of almonds, about 23 nuts, contains roughly 160 calories. Eat 3 or 4 handfuls without thinking, and you've consumed the energy equivalent of a fast food meal, disguised in the halo of health. It's not gluttony, it's biology and psychology intertwining. When we eat foods we believe are good for us, the brain's reward centers relax. The vigilance drops. Studies in behavioral psychology call this the health halo effect. It tricks us into overconsumption because we feel safe. I'm not eating chips, we say. It's almonds. But to the body, calories are currency. It doesn't care about moral labels. For women over 60, this matters more than ever. Hormonal changes after menopause slow metabolism and shift fat storage toward the abdomen. Estrogen's decline means every surplus calorie has a stronger gravitational pull toward the belly and hips. A Harvard study found that adults who regularly ate nuts without adjusting portion size gained an average of 2 extra pounds per year, 10 pounds in 5 years, simply from unconscious snacking. The human story behind those numbers is familiar. Many women, after dinner, keep a jar of mixed nuts on the counter or beside the couch. The act feels wholesome, even soothing, a small ritual of self-care at the end of a long day. But in reality, those moments of comfort accumulate, silently rewriting the body's shape over time. Mindfulness is the antidote. The key is not to abandon nuts, but to respect them. Think of them as medicine. The right dose heals, the wrong dose harms. Measure a small handful, about an ounce, and savor them slowly. Pair them with water-rich foods like apples, cucumbers, or berries to naturally curb the body's hunger signals. Because the truth is, hunger isn't just about the stomach. It's about the mind. When we eat while distracted, whether scrolling a phone or watching TV, the brain never registers satisfaction. But when you pause, breathe, and taste every bite, a quiet intelligence awakens. That's where nourishment lives, not in the handful, but in the awareness behind it. So, the next time you reach for healthy snacks, remember, nature made them potent for survival. It's our modern abundance that made them perilous. Portion is not punishment, it's precision. And yet, even when food choices are perfect, another hidden mistake lingers, one that pours itself into breakfast glasses, wears the mask of health, and floods the bloodstream with sweetness. Mistake number 2, drinking fruit juices instead of water. Morning sunlight. A glass of orange juice gleams on the table. Bright, golden, promising. The label says 100% natural. No added sugar. Packed with vitamins. It feels like wellness in a glass. But for countless women over 60, that innocent ritual is quietly fueling the very struggle they're trying to escape. The truth is sobering. Fruit juice, stripped of its fiber, behaves almost exactly like soda inside the body. What you drink as nature's sweetness becomes a flood of fructose, a sugar that the liver must scramble to process. Without fiber to slow absorption, blood sugar spikes sharply, insulin rushes in to contain it, and the excess energy is swiftly stored as fat, especially around the abdomen. For senior women, this metabolic domino effect hits harder. As estrogen declines, insulin sensitivity weakens. The muscles, already reduced from years of slow loss, can't absorb sugar as efficiently. Each morning glass of juice becomes a quiet betrayal, adding calories without satiety, sugar without fiber, sweetness without substance. Margaret, 65, learned this lesson the hard way. She proudly told her doctor she'd avoided soda for years, drinking orange juice every morning instead. But despite her daily walks and careful eating, her weight crept up. Her blood sugar climbed into the pre-diabetic range. Only when she replaced juice with water and whole fruit did everything change. 6 months later, she was 12 pounds lighter, her belly smaller, her energy brighter. A single 8-ounce glass of apple juice contains around 24 grams of sugar, 6 teaspoons, and almost no fiber. It may feel like a small indulgence, but multiply that by months, years, decades, and you begin to see how these liquid calories carve their signature into the body's chemistry. The physiology is clear, but the story runs deeper, into culture and psychology. We've been conditioned to chase sweetness since childhood. Sweet equals comfort, reward, affection. But our ancient biology was never designed for constant sugar exposure. For most of human history, sweetness was rare, a seasonal gift of ripe fruit, earned through movement and scarcity. Today, it's on every shelf, every label, every commercial that whispers, "You deserve it." There's no villain here. Only a mismatch between modern life and ancient design. The solution isn't deprivation. It's reconnection. Drink water not as a rule, but as a return. Hydration is the oldest form of healing. It flushes toxins, stabilizes blood sugar, protects the kidneys, and supports the metabolism that sleep and age often slow. Science shows that replacing juice with water can save more than 25,000 calories a year, the equivalent of nearly 8 pounds of fat, without any other change. But beyond numbers, the deeper reward is clarity. When the body isn't awash in sugar, the mind steadies, energy flows, and the fog lifts. So the next time you crave sweetness, reach for the real thing. A whole orange, a crisp apple, something your body can chew, not sip. Let nature's fiber be your ally, not its absence, your undoing. Yet even as we fix what we drink, there's one final mistake that no diet, no smoothie, no supplement can fix if left unchecked. It's not in your fridge or your pantry, it's in your chair. Mistake number 1. Staying sedentary for long hours. The day winds down. Dinner's done, dishes stacked, television flickers in the dim light. The chair feels comforting, familiar. Hours slip quietly by. One episode, then another, maybe some scrolling before bed. It feels harmless, even well-deserved after a long day. But inside the body, something invisible begins to shift. Doctors call it the sedentary cascade. Within just 2 hours of uninterrupted sitting, the enzymes that break down fat in your bloodstream fall by nearly 90%. Circulation slows, muscles go quiet, and the body's calorie-burning machinery dims like a house with its lights turned low. What feels like rest is, biologically, stagnation. For women over 60, this stillness becomes especially costly. As estrogen and growth hormone levels drop, the body's ability to manage blood sugar weakens. Sitting amplifies this vulnerability. Insulin sensitivity plummets, sugar stays trapped in the bloodstream, and the body stores it away as fat, most often around the abdomen. What begins as comfort ends as chemistry. Think of Linda, 70, who retired after 4 decades of work. She finally had time to relax, to read, watch movies, catch up on everything she'd postponed. But slowly, her waistline expanded, her legs weakened, and her energy faded. She wasn't overeating. She was undermoving. Her doctor explained it wasn't just calories. It was her hours of stillness. Once she began setting a timer to stand every 30 minutes, stretching, walking to the kitchen, even pacing during phone calls, her body began to respond. Her metabolism woke up, her energy surged, and her confidence returned. The science is striking. Studies from NASA on astronauts, people living in near-zero gravity, show that when muscles are inactive, even for short periods, the body rapidly loses its ability to regulate sugar and fat. It's as if gravity itself is a nutrient, and movement its delivery system. Remove it, and the body forgets how to stay alive efficiently. The psychological cost is subtler, but no less real. The longer we sit, the more we retreat into our thoughts. The brain grows foggy. The will softens. The human body is not meant to be still. It's a vessel of rhythm and flow. In stillness, the mind begins to believe the body is aging faster than it truly is. Movement, on the other hand, sends a different message. I'm still here, I'm still alive. The fix is both simple and profound. You don't need marathons or gym memberships, just moments of motion. Stand every half hour. Walk a few steps, roll your shoulders, take a deep breath that expands your ribs. Research shows that 2 minutes of movement every 30 minutes can counteract most of the damage of sitting. That's not exercise, it's remembrance. In the end, metabolism is not a switch. It's a symphony. And when you sit too long, one by one, the instruments fall silent. But with every step, every stretch, every breath that says, I'm moving again, the music returns. So if there's one truth worth carrying from this entire journey, it's this. Stillness is the slowest poison. But movement, small, steady, human movement, is the medicine. Because health after 60 isn't about chasing youth. It's about reawakening vitality, minute by minute, choice by choice. Now, with all 6 silent mistakes uncovered, it's time to weave them together, to see the larger pattern and the deeper promise that lies beneath it. Reclaiming the body's rhythm. The final lesson. Now we see the full picture. The 6 silent mistakes that creep quietly into a woman's life after 60. Skipping protein at breakfast. Trusting low-fat labels. Undereating throughout the day. Grazing on healthy snacks. Sipping juice instead of water. Sitting for hours without motion. None of them seem dangerous alone. But together, they create a perfect storm, a slow metabolic eclipse that dims the light of vitality, one routine at a time. Yet within this revelation lies something far more powerful. Each mistake holds its own cure. Every trap can be reversed. Not by punishment or restriction, but by reconnection. Start your morning with protein, a signal to your muscles that the day has begun, that you are feeding strength, not fear. Choose whole foods with real fats, the kind your grandmother would recognize, not the kind a factory reformulated to look light. Eat to nourish, not to shrink. Each bite of protein is an investment in independence, the ability to rise from a chair without strain, to walk with stability, to live without apology for the body you inhabit. Snack mindfully, as an act of consciousness. Let the rhythm of your day, not distraction, guide your hunger. Drink water as if it were sacred, because it is. It is the medium through which every cell whispers life into motion. And move, not as penance, but as celebration. Every stretch, every step, every breath is a small rebellion against stillness. Science now confirms what ancient wisdom has long known. The human body thrives not through perfection, but through rhythm. The heart beats, the lungs expand, the muscles contract and release. Life itself is movement. When you restore that rhythm, you don't just lose weight, you regain trust in your body. You remember that vitality was never lost. It was only asleep. This isn't about chasing your 30-year-old self. It's about honoring the woman you are now, the one who's lived, learned, endured, and is still evolving. The body is not betraying you. It's listening, responding, waiting for your signal to heal. So pause and ask, which of these mistakes will you correct first? Will it be that morning without protein? That quiet glass of juice? That chair that holds you too long? Whatever your answer, know this: every small change is an act of defiance against decline. Because health after 60 isn't a battle to win. It's a rhythm to rediscover. The rhythm of nourishment, of movement, of life fully lived. Your future self is waiting, not thinner, not younger, but stronger, freer, more you. Your body isn't giving up. It's asking for partnership. Listen to it, move with it, feed it truth, and it will thank you. Not just with years, but with energy, presence, and joy. You can begin right now, with one step, one sip, one mindful choice. And when you do, remember, aging isn't the end of youth. It's the beginning of mastery.